What up, y'all? I'm Nigerian American, and when I was young, my pops and all his friends used to come through, and they would eat, and they would have libations, and they would talk really intensely about politics. I mean, like real intense, like Jon Stewart, Bill O'Reilly intense. And that's why we're here at BUKA, a really dope Nigerian restaurant in Brooklyn that you should come check out. So, we're gonna have our roundtable discussion. Joining us today, we have Yolande Grant, Hari Zayed, and George 2.0.
I think the sharp turn happened within the 80s with the crack epidemic. And that's when you saw this very poignant breach to militarize the police force. And as we engage in never-ending wars, people are coming back fresh from overseas. You know, with the NYPD, you either need to have a college degree or have served 2 years in the military to become a part of the NYPD. Most of these people are fresh from overseas, fresh from active duty. They're using the same military-grade weapons they've been using overseas to treat civilians. So that psychological aspect that comes with it is also different. I think people are very scared in every aspect, especially the police, because they don't know how to react to civilian life.
Yeah, and part of that narrative is that they see Black people as threats.
Absolutely.
And that's why there's this conversation about safety. If there was a different type of relationship, if they looked at us and were like, this is a community that we're supposed to protect, then that would not be the first thing that they're worried about, is whether or not they are safe. It should be whether or not the communities that they're supposed to protect are safe.
Zombie, oh zombie. Zombie, oh zombie. Zombie, no go go.
That's why they supposedly signed up for the job. But because we're not seen as being worthy of protecting, then it's about their safety, and then it's about not saying hi to us and not being a part of our communities and not putting themselves out there to know us and for us to know them. First of all, that Black Lives Matter isn't concerned about like intra-community violences is completely false. I mean, started by 3 Black women, 2 queer women, and 1 immigrant woman, and the crux of it is that there are systematic violences that are happening.
Yes.
And within our communities, that systematic violence might look a certain way. It might be very particularly effective to women and queer people and trans people, and that has always been the center of the argument. But we're still looking at systems and not just, like, you can look at gang violence and say, like, this person is evil for killing somebody, or you can look at gang violence and look at like the poverty and the ways that the state has reinforced this.
You can't have one voice represent the Black struggle, the Black community in any sense, because we're multifaceted beings, and one person cannot describe that.
I think about a year ago, Kendrick Lamar, shortly after he lost one of his friends, he came out and said a comment that we need to respect ourselves first before, you know, we expect others to respect us. And he got lambasted for it. And this kind of worries me. I feel as a society, we're becoming less and less tolerant of divergent viewpoints.
No, I think that's true. I think that's why I'm a big fan of DeRay. Because, you know, like every night he ends Twitter or starts the day saying, I love my Blackness and yours.
Yeah.
Which I think is so important. So if Kendrick thinks that Black and Black violence is destroying the Black community and like that's the end all be all, he doesn't believe in Black Lives Matter, that's okay because I'm still fighting for him.
Right.
You know, he can have those views. But if he can listen in and see what we're all talking about in the greater conversation of things, I think that's also important. We shouldn't kick him off the boat just because he has a problem.
Right.
I feel like it's chill.
I mean, it's tough to kick anybody off the boat nowadays, honestly. If you think about the knee-jerk reactions you have to a lot of the sensationalism you're forced to respond to, you know, you could probably get kicked off the proverbial boat, like, you know.
Oh, I will eventually.
You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna happen.
Like, if you had an Etch-a-Sketch and people didn't have the screenshot, it would be a different world, right? So, like, what happens is we respond to things so quickly because of this term I use, I call it social media. Like, you know what I mean? I think that like as quickly as you respond to something, it can be captured and circulated, you know, and it becomes attached to you indelibly.
I think people should be held accountable, but we should also know that this is all a learning curve.
Absolutely.
You know, no one woke up woke.
Yeah,
it's impossible. We're all learning at different paces, and if we can help others come to some sort of light, that's okay.
Yeah.
I was talking to Ray earlier about how we put these people who have media access, we put a lot of responsibility on them. And it's not necessarily fair, but a lot of them will take that and internalize it. And so Kendrick has been talking about the Black experience, and he's kind of made himself a voice. And so with that, embracing of that comes responsibility. So I think that I don't have any problem with people calling him out, because for one, we haven't had access to call people out before, and we should be utilizing that. But I think that people should also be willing to accept that they might make a mistake, and it's okay. I like to think of myself as a man, as a recovering misogynist, I say this, instead of a feminist, because like I've grown up in a system that, like you said, is patriarchal, and so I've learned a lot of things, and I'm going to make mistakes, and I'm never not going to make a mistake, and people should be able to call me out without feeling bad about that.
So then what is a sellout?
I mean, I don't use the term sellout because I mean,
okay, all right.
I say something a lot more harsh.
I think that
hey, we can say it. I mean, we can edit it out later. Get it out.
I think it's more descriptive than that. I mean, I said, you know, like an archetypal Judas was a sellout. He sold. You know what I mean? For money, he gave up something that was not supposed to be for sale. So when you do that, you are selling out. You're selling something that you're not supposed to sell.
And I don't mean that you're not Black.
Not at all.
And that's part of why it's so hurtful. Like it's a betrayal of sorts. Like you're placing, and I think in their cases, and I might be placing this on them, but you're putting your coin in front of your people, and that's what a sellout is to me. You're still Black. Like, I'm still gonna fight. If a police officer is brutalizing you and getting away with it, I'm gonna fight for you.
You know what that makes me think of? It makes me think of the O.J. Simpson trial in 1994, when he had already said that he wasn't Black. When, you know, we all knew that he probably did the shit. No, we was all still like, you know, hoping that he got away.
You know O.J. did.
Well, if you,
in my class.
we did too. We do. I mean, if you don't think O.J. Exactly. You don't think O.J. did it, then well, I don't know what to tell you. But
O.J. We all know.
It wasn't about O.J.
It wasn't about that.
It was post-Rodney King.
It was about racism. It was about getting the system. It was about, that's what, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
it was one of the first times
really
where
get
you
the
could
system,
show
but,
white people how the criminal system works for us.
It was about Johnny Cochran more than it was about O.J.
Right.
It was about, can Johnny win?
Remember these words. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
Johnny did whoop their ass though. He whooped their ass though. He did whoop their ass though. He did whoop their ass though. Johnny did. He did. He got him. What's the sellout? What's the sellout?
I don't use that term though. I really don't.
I don't
I'll say like cooning. That's why. Like,
Cooning,
like Raven,
Shucking,
100%.
Shucking,
Like you know, but Stacey Dash.
I felt like he could give a excuse me, like he could care less. He could care less.
Stacey Dashing, is that the term you use?
No, Stacey Dash.
Oh, I'm gonna start using that though. You Stacey Dashing. You real Stacey Dashing right now.
Also, I think the ancestors like come for you when you coon, because like Stacey Dash, she's not aging right. You know, like Raven Simone, she's not looking too good.
Well, Stacey Dashing ain't Asian, right? She was playing 16 when she was 45.
Not anymore.
No. The last interview with her,
right? Look,
ridiculousness.
she's not aging like a Black woman.
Yeah,
and it serves her right.
Her black and cracking.
But to your point, like it's a Black thing to coon. Like that's part of Blackness. I think that it kind of shows the limitlessness of Blackness. It's not a good example, but you still, to be able to do this and still be Black is just part of Blackness.
Subscribe, you son of a bitch!